A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
I think I played really well this year. Accomplished all my goals that I set always, like I always tell you guys. Set the standard for myself, but I think I played really good this year. So.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. The kicker's here, Mason Crosby. And that was Keyshawn Nixon. Yes, that's right. Pro Bowler Keyshawn Nixon.
That's right. Probably
one of the most dominant seasons at cornerback that we've ever seen here in Green Bay. I mean, just lit the night on fire. And according to himself, he had a great season. Good day, Mr. Crosby.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a big news for the Pro Bowl. You got Shorr Sanders and Keyshawn Nixon, the obvious favorites that we saw replacing guys and making the Pro Bowl. Luckily, I guess if they don't play a real game, do they still do the flag football game?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the Pro Bowl games now.
How crazy would that be? Keyshawn picks off Shorr in that game. I mean,
let's go.
Deserving for sure. Hey, good for him. I mean, those are always nods. It does kind of take the Pro Bowl down and even further as far as what is the prestige and all of that. Like Shorr Sanders, I get Keyshawn. It's okay, you got a couple different guys that DB position is interesting and somebody might bail out and you go down a few spots, but at the quarterback position, Shorr Sanders making the Pro Bowl
over Trevor Lawrence
makes no sense to me.
Trevor Lawrence literally going to be a top
he's
5
not in?
MVP finisher based on the NFL.
Yeah,
Are you sure he didn't turn it down? There's no way Shorr made it over Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, there had to be injury or
know.
just people turning it down.
Right. I think he played in the playoffs and he was like, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm good." Yeah.
This is a Jacob Mizorowski situation.
Right.
12 guys said no, and then they got to Shorr and they were like, "All right, you're in."
Exactly,
dude. I would just play Shorr all 60. I don't even know who the other two quarterbacks are, but I would just play Shorr. Hey, young man, you're in.
You're in. Yeah.
You're never going to start
the call.
You're never going to start another game in the NFL, so you might as well play the whole Pro Bowl.
Who are the other AFC quarterbacks going?
Ooh, okay. I don't even know off the top of my list.
I mean, Josh Allen?
He's got to be there, right?
But I'm sure he declined.
Right. I think yeah.
I mean, there were probably 14 quarterbacks that declined.
Looking at this is just so the AFC, the Pro Bowl games roster revealed. So remember, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Drake May. So Drake May had to
that was your original.
Pulled out.
That was your original.
That is because it still says as of right now, Josh Allen is the starter.
Allen, Herbert, and Sanders are your three guys.
Yeah, the top three everyone thinks of.
That's amazing.
I mean,
I told you Herbert was better than Trevor Lawrence. I told you. He's a Pro Bowler. He is a Pro Bowler.
There is no way
Come on.
that Justin Herbert shouldn't be the worst quarterback elected to the Pro Bowl. There's 0% on that.
The world is everything's right in the world now. Justin Herbert is a Pro Bowler, and so is Shorr Sanders, and that just makes sense.
Herbert and Allen are both banged up. They don't want to play. I think Sanders is going to play the whole game.
He's just the brought-in guy. Hey, we're going to play.
Yeah.
Why not give Flacco a nod then? I mean, if Sanders gets a nod, why doesn't Flacco get a nod?
Can you believe that Shorr Sanders made the Pro Bowl? I know it's on a different conference, and Jordan Love didn't. When you look at it, I mean, that's so disrespectful, and it means absolutely nothing now. No one cares what the Pro Bowl is. Thank you for what you just did.
No, nobody already cared.
Nobody already cared.
Was he the fourth option? That is what's wild is fan votes. Okay, I get, but who else voted for Shorr Sanders? So it's if you got a ton of fan votes, there has to be 2/3 of a vote still. What's that?
Dion paid someone
to
get him in.
Dion said, "I'll coach the Pro Bowl and I'll be there promoting things." And they're yes, money.
Stafford, Prescott, and Goff are going for the NFC, supposedly.
Stafford, I guarantee he's bowing out of that one.
That's the thing. Is Josh Allen? There's no way Josh Allen is playing in this. Herbert's
I mean, it's
hurt.
this week. Yeah, I feel like
a broken hand.
you would have had to bail out. I
Right.
feel like before, before this week.
It's
so
weird. I mean, talk about how
it almost
garbage
makes
the
no
Pro Bowl.
sense. Herbert playing in it. Like, yeah,
Right.
he's been banged up all year. He had a broken left hand. Like, that makes no sense.
414-677-1250. How broke as a joke is the NFL Pro Bowl games? I'm not saying the Major League Baseball All-Star game is perfect. I'm not saying the NBA All-Star game, but that has taken a dramatic turn for the worse. LeBron James ruined that for everybody. The NHL figured something out. They caught lightning in a bottle last year, and the Olympics are coming up for the NHL players. But man, the NFL, like, this is just like what are we doing? Like, why does this even exist?
What was a bummer was the year, I think I was third in like all the voting, was the year that they didn't do AFC NFC split, and so they took 2 AFC kickers.
Unbelievable.
And I was third overall, but I obviously was left out of that one, which was disappointing.
Can you believe that Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl over you as a Buffalo when you look up Buffaloes that have made the Pro Bowl?
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
His number's retired, so yeah, I totally.
It's true.
And
it's your
take it.
number.
I mean,
just
keep going. Just keep jumping. Yeah,
Dude,
why not?
What is Jim Crosby doing? Can he coach the Buffaloes next year?
Where's Jimbo? Come on, Jimbo.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
Easy.
All right.
All right. What are we diving into? Obviously, we'll keep talking about how ridiculous the Pro Bowl is, but we do have to talk some coaching stuff, some Packers things. What Hafley? I feel like we're talking more about what Hafley is going to be doing there in Miami, because I do think that affects the Packers in some way. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, Eliot Shorr-Parks from WIP in Philly. He's going to join us in the next segment to talk about Jonathan Gannon. He was a big Jonathan Gannon guy when he was defensive coordinator down there or over there in Philadelphia. Certainly, we've got Giannis watch on our radar because who knows? Some national reports coming out yesterday that they think he may have played his last game ever for the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll keep our eye on that as well. But Hafley takes Ryan Downard and Sean Duggan, the DB's coach and the linebackers coach. They are leaving with Jeff Hafley for Miami. Does it matter? Do you care? Have you ever heard of these guys before?
Oh yeah, RD is a great coach.
Okay, people actually thought people think he's an up and comer. Like he is. Yeah, he's the Hafley clone there.
He'll be the next one. He's done a good job. Honestly, he's been on that defensive staff since Pettin, I believe. So he's stuck around there in Green Bay. So yeah, I would say he's probably going to, because he's getting elevated to that pass game coordinator, right? And that seems to be now like the new age move, where it's like you get that pass game coordinator and then you get your defensive coordinator interviews. So I would expect Ryan Downard to be in that cycle of defensive coordinators here in the next year or two, for sure. So I think that's a wise move. He's a really good football mind. Has done a good job there in Green Bay. So not surprised by that one. And then obviously I think that Dugan is Hafley's guy, right? He brought him from Boston College.
He was the defensive coordinator for Boston College when he came over.
Sense.
So it sounds like he wants to be the defensive coordinator for him in Miami as well.
Okay. I think that's the plan, it looks like. So then that opens up, and it's I think Gannon will probably bring Rallis. Is that right? His DC that he had, and he's a linebackers coach as well. So, but I feel like if you're DC, you probably have to get another linebackers coach in that mix. And then the DB side of things, like who's your pass game coordinator? What are you looking at? I mean, is this that opportunity where they go back? And I don't think Chicago would let Al Harris come in as the pass game coordinator. They wouldn't let him go lateral to the Packers, especially with the success they had. But that was one that triggered in my mind. I'm like, man, that'd be a way to get at like someone like that in your room. That's where I start looking, though. I'm like Nick Collins, like guys like that, where it's like you start getting and grooming somebody into that space and bringing them up the ladder. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Gannon fills in those position coaching roles.
So when there's significant transition like this, Mason, how do players pay attention to this stuff, or do they just show up in April and then they learn their guys? Is there communication as Gannon comes in and brings in new guys? Will they be reaching out to all the defensive players?
I hope they do.
Right. But does that happen, or do you just kind of wait till April and then you get to all know each other?
Like how does
anytime we change special teams coordinator, any of that, like first call was to all the specialists and making sure that we're all on the same page. And then again, you're going to do your research if you're wise as a player, and you're going to understand like what this coach, where he's been, what they've done, what they what kind of defense they're looking to run, like what mentality they have. Like if I were on that side of the ball, I'd be trying to learn this guy all the way so I can adapt or work on in the off season on things that are going to keep me on this team.
Okay.
Because there are going to be guys that they're going to just be like, well, like you just don't really fit with what we're trying to do. And they're going to have conversations to Goody and personnel. Like we need somebody else in this room. So I would be, don't be a full chameleon, but you want to be, you gotta know who you're working with and who you're working for, and adjust if need be, if it's just little minor things.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Your thoughts on defensive coaches leaving with Hafley? Are you upset about it? Are you worried about it? Are you concerned about it? And Mason, I think my concern here is that I know that the 25 defense wasn't as good as the 24 defense, but I still think the Packers have had a pretty good defense under Hafley. Obviously good enough for Hafley to get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
And so I worry that I guess I worry that new voices in the room can be a distraction, can be there are elements of like, oh, there's new competition, there's new possibilities, but there's also like, I'm worried that in it's hard for me to say veteran-laden team, but in a team where guys have been there for at least a few years, like that they get comfortable. Oh, I did this under Hafley. I did this for the past couple of years, so I obviously deserve this job. Whether it's, if Rashawn Gary comes back, LVN, the linebackers, and the secondary, a guy like Keyshawn Nixon, like I'm just worried that like they come in with an attitude of like, I deserve this. I get this because I did this under the previous guy, and that it's going to be hard for new guys to come in and kind of assert their authority. So how important is it that
I think the Green Bay way doesn't really lend itself to
Keyshawn Nixon a Green Bay way kind of
no,
guy?
that's what I'm saying. Maybe Keyshawn Nixon might be a guy that would do that. LVN's not, I don't think, going to be that type of guy.
Okay.
There's maybe a couple guys in that space, but you got a new leader on that side of the ball, and you got one that's been there a couple of years, and McKinney, and those guys that are going to push everybody to compete and to go earn their spot. And I love what Micah said, and I think that is going to be the most important thing now with a new staff, whether the defense looks a lot different, because it seems like it might be very similar to what Hafley did, but you have to go and compete. Even if you're Micah Parsons, his mentality is, I'm going to compete. And even if I am better than like everyone that's chasing me, I am going to push them to try to beat me. Like I want them to try to overtake me and be better than I am, because that just makes all of us that much better. He knows who he is. He knows what he's about. Go out there and compete. If you don't have that mentality, then you shouldn't be in that building. That's a mindset for sure.
I totally agree with that. I just, part of that concerns me is that like, you want to make sure that the new leadership comes in with the right messaging right away, as opposed to letting guys be comfortable just because they've done something the past couple of years.
Well, talking yesterday with, what was it? Donnie, right?
Donnie. Yeah.
Druin. He was saying, it seems like Gannon's like kind of, he's a good dude, but he has expectations, and he's not going to just let guys, especially, I didn't like his speech there in Arizona, but at least his mind is in the right place. It's like, pick up your lunch pail, like go to work, do all that. It's hard to tell guys that are making 5-10 million plus a year, to be this blue collar, go to work type of stuff. But football, that mentality plays, whether you're making 20 million or you're making making pennies. Like that mentality is what gets guys through the door. You have to find something that is not money driven, and it kind of takes you outside of just what are you getting out of it and what can I bring to the team type of mentality. So as long as that's the approach, I think there should be positives moving into this offseason there.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Brian's in South Milwaukee. Brian, you're first up on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey guys, yeah, the coaches moving along with Hafley, that's not really that big of a deal. I mean, obviously they must have working for him the last couple of years, and they probably look at it as a good opportunity to maybe move up a little bit with a new situation down there in Miami, and it's a great opportunity too for Green Bay to maybe bring in some fresh guys that maybe have different ideas as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually a really good thing. And the fact that they got jobs with Hafley says a lot about them, but it's also, it keeps the Packers from having to get rid of those guys because Gannon is going to be able to bring in at least 2 or 3 of his own guys. So we were going to see movement on that defensive side either way.
Yeah, I mean, and especially, I think there just needs to be a little bit more creativity in some of those positions on the defense, and getting some of these guys to play up a bit, especially on the outside at the cornerback position. You need some
they need
guys to step up there.
Yep, they need some help there, no doubt about it. Brian, thanks for the call. And that is one of the things I'm excited about is to see what they're able to do. I know with Jordan and Micah's contracts, it's a little difficult, but there's got to be some improvement in that cornerback room, Mason.
Yeah, they're going to have to find something. It'll be through the draft, or if they can find some salary cap space by releasing, some different guys and maneuvering, they're going to probably try to, go down that path. But another question we've been talking about a little bit on the side, and it has to do with the coaching, and it's something that's intriguing to me, is that Hafley hasn't tapped or requested any interviews for offensive coaches from the Green Bay Packers. And for me, that's a telling thing. Like, he always had great things to say about LaFleur and his coaching style, all that, but he's not requesting any of those guys down with him in Miami. And what do you think that means?
I think that means that Matt LaFleur is in charge of the offense and no one else really has a voice. And so there's not really a lot of respect. I know Stenovich, interviewing a little bit for the Titans job, though it looks like they're about to hire Brian Daboll as their new offensive coordinator. But that there's just not a lot of respect for these coaches on the offensive side because LaFleur is really the voice in that offensive room, and everybody else might do one-on-one coaching and helping in their position groups, but there's not a whole lot of leadership potential there.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I think it's just, we talk about control and trust, and I don't think that those offensive coaches are freed up to be in control of their unit and what they are trying to implement, right? Yep. Sean Mannion, I saw, is potentially, y'all sent me that. He looks like he's getting an interview, which, again, talk about a quick up-and-coming, situation, and he might be in that spot. If he gets a chance, it's like, go take that opportunity, because if you sit in that space, it doesn't look like guys are moving out of this LaFleur offensive tree and going and having huge success. I got something on after the break. I was listening to Romo on McAfee's show, and something that I found kind of interesting. And then I want to talk about also special teams from that tree. Have you seen those numbers? Rams, Niners, Packers are the bottom of the league since 2019 in special teams, point differential or EPA or whatever that number is that they do, where that is a fascinating stat. Those gurus, those offensive guys from that tree just have no respect or have no focus on what special teams means to that team.
2 of the 3 have made it to a Super Bowl in that time.
That's true, but they've also kept themselves out of the Super Bowl with special teams mistakes.
That was not shots fired at Shanahan or McVay.
No,
I know who you were throwing.
Yeah, thanks. But shots were fired at McVay this week. The special teams mistake changed the course of that game, no doubt about it.
Return,
coming up next, we've got Eliot Shorr-Parks from WIP in Philadelphia. And speaking, we're going to talk about Jonathan Gannon with him, but obviously we can also talk about Sean Mannion, because Sean Mannion is interviewing with Philadelphia. So we can talk about what's going on right now with that offensive coordinator position and that coaching staff in general, which always, that Philly staff is always under, I know it's Philly, so the fans are crazy and the media's crazy, but people just go after them.
Yeah. Yeah, success is expected,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yep.
it's an expected success out there.
And like, is Nick Sirianni, like, people still wonder if he's up for the job, and like, does he have the right, coordinators? Does he have does he have the right, what is it like, the mindset and being able to stay focused? So
For sure.
So we'll talk about all those things. And the Bucks are in Philly tonight, so maybe we'll sneak in a Bucks Sixers question with Eliot.
So many connecting points.
I know. Eliot Shorr-Parks, WIP in Philadelphia, talking Jonathan Gannon, new Packers defensive coordinator, next, right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I'm Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here. Mason is here as well. What up, Mace? What's the weather update down in Nashville, bro?
Well, I don't know if y'all heard that during the break, but tons of snow and ice just fell off the roof. So
was it cool or scary?
It was a little intense, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice it's getting off of there. I think that means it's warming up a little this afternoon. I'm seeing some of the ice coming off the trees. As soon as we get that, I mean, so many people have been out of power.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I feel so fortunate that I've been able to do the show these last 2 days because everybody like literally 2 streets over have been like without power for 2 days. It's been crazy. So
that is crazy. Joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Eagles beat reporter for 94 WIP in Philadelphia. Also the podcast host of the Go Birds Pod, Eliot Shorr-Parks. Eliot, good day to you. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping on. And I know that we've had Spike Eskin on the show quite a bit to talk Eagles in the past and Sixers. And I told him I wanted to talk about Jonathan Gannon, and he said, you got to talk to Eliot. He's the Jonathan Gannon expert here in Philly. New defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, former defensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your thoughts of Jonathan Gannon during his tenure as defensive coordinator in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I thought he did an outstanding job. That Eagles defense I covered in 2022 was really, really good. Now, obviously, they've since had Vic Fangio, who is maybe the best defensive coordinator of all time. So I've been lucky to cover some good defenses here in Philly. But there's no question that Gannon is a really sharp defensive mind. When I covered that team in 2022, they had one of the best pass rushes. They almost set the record for sacks in a season. They created a ton of turnovers. Like they were an awesome defense. And just from being around him, I think he's somebody the players will really like. I think he'll get the most out of those pass rushers. I think he will put the secondary in position to make plays. The one criticism of Gannon during his time with the Eagles was against those elite offenses, like top 5 quarterbacks. The defenses weren't as good. Now, I would argue all defenses struggle against top 5 quarterbacks. That's why they're top 5 quarterbacks. But that was the criticism of Gannon during his time here.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so then tell us a little bit about like what do you think makes him a great coordinator as far as scheme and like what, is he's on that Vic Fangio potentially, that tree, but he says he doesn't have scheme. He just puts players in position to be successful. So kind of what do you think his biggest strengths are in those spaces?
Yeah, you mentioned his tie to Vic Fangio. I think that's really important. We're in the coaching cycle now in the NFL, and one thing you hear a lot about candidates, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is, well, they worked for McVay, they worked for Kyle Shanahan. I think working for Fangio and having that connection is important, right? So I do think that's a positive. I would say the main thing I remember about his time with the Eagles is he did a really good job. So their cornerbacks would mostly play off coverage, right? And people would get annoyed by that at times because, it'd be 3rd and 5 and they're playing 7 yards off or whatever it might be, right? Like there was times where that happened. But what it did he was with the Eagles. Like, I think he'll fit perfectly in Green Bay for what it's worth. I feel like in Arizona, there were some clips that went viral of him that people made fun of, but just from being around him, like, his personality is definitely like hardcore football intense guy. So I think he'll fit in well in Arizona. But I would also say there's just a big difference between being a head coach and a defensive coordinator. Like, as a head coach, you just have so much more on your plate. He's a bit at the mercy of Kyler Murray there. We've seen how that works out for basically anyone that coaches Kyler Murray. So again, he did not succeed in Arizona. If you guys were hiring him as a head coach, this would probably be a different phone call. But I think as a coordinator, like, he is one of the top, I don't know, 10 defensive coordinators in the NFL right now. Like, I think he is very well suited to be in that role. I think the Arizona job is just such a different situation. I don't even think it's comparable as to what he'll do in Green Bay.
I love that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's like, you are a head coach. You could hear him in his like first team meeting. He's trying to create culture, like a whole organization of culture.
Yeah.
Whereas now as a D coordinator, he can just go into that space. Here's how we are going to play defense, and then leave the culture up to LaFleur and like trying to create that for the whole team identity. He can just focus in on what he knows best and what how to unlock that defense there in Green Bay. I love that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the clip that I think really kind of defines his time with the Eagles here in Philadelphia, it was the morning of the championship game against the Niners in 2022 season. And Gannon had like a rough relationship with the fans here, I will say. Like, people were, I thought, overly harsh on him because of the fact he didn't blitz a ton, because of the off coverage. So people, were mad at him about that. But there's a clip of him driving to the stadium, and a fan, kind of walks by him as he's driving, and he videotapes him, and Gannon rolls down his window and goes, we're going to gut these guys, only with an expletive in there. So like, he's just a very intense guy. Like, I've been to Green Bay, obviously, to cover Eagles games, never lived there, but I know you guys like eat, sleep, and breathe football there, right? And I think that is Gannon. Like, I think he goes home and he still thinks about football. So I think he will be very motivated for this job. And like I said, I think, again, if you remove the head coach part, I do think you guys got a very good coordinator that, by the way, is familiar with one of the top competitions in the NFC with the Eagles.
Eliot, I have a question for you in regards to that Gannon leadership style and his mantra of always thinking about football. Is that something you think can help a guy like Matt LaFleur, which people have questioned over that time? Do you think that he is a good collaborator with a head coach during that stretch? Like, is that also a part of his personality, that he could actually improve the other side of the ball with how effective he is on the defensive side?
So I think that would be asking a bit much of any coordinator. Like, he's not the head coach. Like LaFleur, I mean, I'm here in Philadelphia where obviously, Nick Sirianni is an offensive head coach, but his job is to set the tone for the team. I think the Packers will ultimately be what LaFleur is, like his personality, what he prioritizes. And I don't think you really want Gannon going in there and trying to change any culture. Now, I don't know if the culture needs change in Green Bay. I'm just saying, I think he will come in, he will coach the defense, he'll coach the defensive guys hard. But I think that's not really like, he'll collaborate well. Like, he got along well with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni was always a big defender of his, both publicly and privately. So like, he definitely had a good relationship with Gannon. So I just don't think, though, he'll come in and impact the culture in a way. I still think that's the responsibility of the head coach.
And then one more follow-up with that. Do you have anyone off the top of mind who you can think of being a Gannon product, like he might have developed into the player that he is today? And does he have a good track record in your mind of developing young talent? Because when we had an Arizona beat writer on yesterday, he gave some examples, but never really pushing anyone over the top to that next level in the NFL. Is there someone in Philadelphia you think that could credit Jonathan Gannon for their development into an NFL player?
It's a great question. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of like a rookie from those draft classes. I would say that, again, like James Bradbury is someone whose career was kind of on the downfall when he came to the Eagles. He got a huge contract again because of Gannon. Hassan Reddick, he got the most out of him. So I'm not saying he didn't. I just, off the top of my head, can't think of anybody. But it's an interesting question. I might have to look it up when I get off the phone and text you guys, because I'm sure there's someone. But I off the top of my head, it was mostly veterans. I would say he got the most out of.
Okay, Eliot, I got one little follow up, because it's something that's been on my mind a little bit. And I'm glad you brought it up, that clip where, he rolls down his window and says, we're going to gut these guys. And then, the clip as he's the Arizona head coach talking about, did anyone take the bus here? We're going to be gritty, grindy, all that. Is he authentically that? Because my question to you is, as he rolls down that window in his G-Wagon to do that, and then he goes to Arizona and asks if anyone's taking the bus to work, and about grit and grind, like, to me, I'd question that. That's just my personality. I'd be like, dude, like, you've never grinded a day in your life. Like, as far as like tough, goes. So is that authentic? Is that real? Or is that just like the persona he's trying to throw out there? Like, you've been around him. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah. So he's definitely, I think, a very intense guy.
So
he's
it's
definitely a hard worker.
Okay.
Yeah, like he gets the facility really. Yeah, he gets the facility early. Like, he's still, I know this sounds like a small thing, but like he works out all the time. Like, he's just someone that is very regimented and disciplined. I would say, in terms of, his authenticity and stuff. Like, I think two things. One, we're naive if we ever think we truly see the authentic part of these guys publicly, right? Like, they're all putting on a little bit of a, but the other thing is, I think the players like coaches that get the best out of them, right? Like, he made a lot of players on that defense a lot of money. And in Arizona, that didn't happen. They weren't successful. So I'd imagine if you ask players in Arizona, they don't feel the same about Gannon as the players in Philadelphia do. And that's because in Philadelphia, he made those guys successful, like Josh Sweat, the same names we've kind of talked about. He made them a lot of money. So I do think he is an authentic guy for sure. But I think the reason players in Philly liked him was because he got the best out of them.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the discipline part. Like, I can get on board with that all day. Like, but somebody that's throwing you all this stuff, but is like not the same, isn't working hard or doing the stuff behind the scenes. That was my main question. You answered it perfectly. All right, Mitch, I think you got something about potential crossover here with Packers and Philly as well.
Yeah, I mean, we know all the chaos over the last couple of years, the offensive play calling, and the wide receiver Brown being disgruntled, and Jalen Hurts, like, what's he doing? And we saw the report that Sean Mannion might be interviewing for the offensive coordinator job, quarterback's coach here in Green Bay. What are you hearing about the offensive coordinator position in Philadelphia? Is that a real open position? Does Mannion have a shot? And what do you think Philly needs to do on the offensive side of the ball with all those, what we call weapons, with all those we think good players? What's going on with that Philly offense?
Man, I mean, I could talk to you guys about this position for an hour, so I'll try to keep it short. But no, I mean, it's definitely open. Like, they've been attached to 15 candidates so far in this cycle, 9 of which have already taken jobs. So they're casting a wide net. I think they wanted Brian Dable or Mike McDaniel initially, and when that didn't happen, they really kind of went down a tier in terms of the candidates. I think with so many openings around the NFL, this is all moving a little slow, like head coaches and coordinators and all that. But the offensive coordinator job in Philly is a really, really tough one. Like, I don't know Sean Mannion, but if I was him, he asked my advice, I would be cautious of taking it. Like, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of personalities. It's a really tough city to coach in. And he's someone that, I do not know him, but it seems like he's fairly early in his coaching career, only having really been, a true kind of coach for a year with the Packers. And you would think he'd have a lot of options in his future. I think anyone that jumps at this Philly job, it's a true hit or miss situation. Like, you could be a head coach in a year, or you could be unemployed. Like, they have fired the last 2 first-year coordinators they hired, they fired after 1 year. So it's really hit or miss. I'm interested to know what you guys think about him, but I think the coordinator search has been a bit of a mess here.
Man, that's a great take. And that's so interesting how it's just like bang or bust. There's not going to be, like a lot of leeway or stability if it just doesn't go even amazing there in Philly. So as far as Sean Mannion goes, I know him personally from golfing with him. I used to go to an event in Bandon Dunes and got to know him over the last few years. Honestly, he's that type of guy that I could see him doing well in a situation where there's a lot of that scrutiny, because he is just a kind of easygoing, low key type of guy. And he's not going to let all that kind of stuff rattle him. And he is a very savvy ball knower as well. Like he is sharp, he is smart. And so he could be that type of fit, but I totally agree with you. It's like if they offer him the job, I'm not sure he shouldn't take it, but he will probably have some prospects here coming up here in the next few years if he decides to pass or he doesn't get offered that job this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the tough thing the Eagles are going with right now. But look, I hope to learn more about him if he does take the job. It's just it's a tough one to walk into.
For sure.
And real quick, Sixers Bucks tonight. Bucks, is Giannis going to be wearing a Sixers uniform in the game? Like, what's going on? I'm just kidding. But the Sixers obviously.
Sixers fans hope that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're a Sixers guy or not, but this was the Eastern Conference like 3, 4, 5 years ago. This was going to be the battle for years. Giannis versus Embiid, and it's kind of gone sideways a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Sixers are a much, much different team than they were even a year ago, right? A year ago, they were led by Embiid. Paul George was an exciting free agency mode there.
Right,
exciting signing for them. But now they're really led by Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, the rookie. So they're a new personality of a team. Fans are behind a team for the first time in a long time. And yeah, Giannis is an interesting, proposition there, right? Like if I'm the Bucks, I would trade Giannis. I think he's declining. I think now's the time to get out from under that contract. I know it's tough, but if you can get, VJ and 2 firsts or, even Maxey straight up, which I don't think the Sixers would do, but I think the Bucks need to rebuild. And if they can get somebody young for Giannis, I think it would make a ton of sense. So yeah, I don't think he'll be wearing a Sixers jersey tonight, but it would not shock me completely if a month from now he is.
Nice. Well, Eliot, thank you so much for jumping on today, giving us all the skinny on Jonathan Gannon. And we definitely, when there's Philly news, we will definitely catch up with you down the road.
Sounds good. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And that a lot of fun there, catching up with Eliot Shorr-Parks from WIP in Philadelphia. When we come back, we got a quick one to get to, and then in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to talk a little bit about Giannis. We're going to talk more about the NFL and the Packers, and it's kind of that week before the week, right? That off week before the Super Bowl. Man, we just got to talk Pro Bowl. We just got to go. We just got to dig.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the hot topic right now. Like, who is going to win the Pro Bowl games?
Right? Like, I don't even know. I just want to watch like all the backyard lawn darts or something.
I got a fun photo for you guys on the other side too that I'm going to surprise you with.
Oh, can't wait.
Let's do this.
He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Mason Crosby Show presented by This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby, the kicker, is here with the big eyes. Hey, big eyes, what's up?
I'm here. Yeah, just hanging out.
You're just like, oh, somebody said my name. Oh, I'm here. I'm here. It's me.
Yep,
It's me.
Yep. I am here.
No big deal. Are the kids outside at all?
No.
Like, is it too cold or just like
the last 2 nights have been -5+ wind chill.
Mhm.
I think it's been around 0 though. So it's cold out there. It's sloppy. It's not like fun. It's not one of those like fun snowstorms where they go outside and play.
I was thinking maybe with it like coming off the roof, like maybe it's warming up a little bit to the point where like
there's just like not enough snow. Like our yard
really?
doesn't even have like it's not snow covered. It's just dusted.
Oh, so
and
no
it's dangerous. I'm
snowballs.
worried about the trees falling. So I'm like, there's been so many trees down.
What's the pond situation? Just completely frozen?
Which pond?
Okay.
Yeah, I did that for you, Tommy.
You garbage. Oh man.
Awesome. No, our pools and ponds are good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Okay.
there's no freeze there. We got pumps in them, so they're moving water.
I wanted to bring this up
Yeah,
because I thought it was funny and
You're
we could
funny.
use a laugh today. Our guy Diego. Tough day.
Oh, yeah.
Tough day.
That was tough.
Tough day for Diego Pavia.
5'9".
And the memes are just unbelievable. Right?
That's tough.
Being shorter than
They had him
Kyler
listed
Murray.
at 6 feet. Like,
Yeah.
come on, that's ridiculous.
No one ever bought that, right? Like we knew he wasn't 6 feet.
Sure, but that just looks so bad. Like, I mean, yeah, as a player, you're like, okay, give me 5'10" or 5'11", but 6 feet and you're 5'9", like that's tough.
The rumor is that he would be the second shortest quarterback in NFL history. Do you guys know who the shortest quarterback?
I mean, Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie, right?
The only guy listed smaller,
What do you
at
mean
least,
listed smaller.
Eddie LeBaron back in 1950. So
Nice.
it's not a good look for Poppy. This is not a real photo, by the way, in case anyone was wondering.
If we were wondering.
Okay,
thanks for clarifying.
That is AI. In a world where you never know if something's real or not. That's
Doug Flutie was listed at 5'10". Really? Wow.
Yeah. Again,
Doug
maybe
Flutie was
they
tiny.
didn't do it as tight back then as
Yeah.
well. You know,
No.
he was probably 5'8", but
measuring heels.
There was
then.
no internet to
In his
bust
cleats.
anybody's chops on that one.
exactly.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. We are the Mason Crosby Show. In the second hour of the show, we're going to get into Giannis. We're going to get into some of we're going to talk a little Brian Gutekunst as well and some of the pressure on him. We're never going to find out that any of these people have contracts, are we?
I guess not.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon.
all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Like growing from Diego Pavia to Mason Crosby.
Oh, nicely done. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz, Mason Crosby. Mason, what are you drinking today?
I have a little coffee in my, how I like these glass cups.
You
now.
love those glasses now.
You
I like seeing it. It's like, it's
because
really nice.
they don't sweat,
Yeah, it's so nice.
right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about the surfaces. And
Yeah, it's great. And a fun fact that I just saw.
Yeah.
Did you know Keyshawn Nixon joins Clay Matthews as the only Packer in Super Bowl era to make the Pro Bowl at multiple positions in their careers?
Ugh.
is Clay Matthews like inside linebacker and outside linebacker?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are two different positions.
I think like Clay Matthews and Keyshawn, they're similar as far as their production.
Let's get Clay Matthews on the show and ask him what he thinks about being in such esteemed company as Keyshawn Nixon. And does he think Keyshawn Nixon can sing as well as he can?
I don't know. I mean, hearing Clay sing in that movie, I'm sure Keyshawn probably could be right there up to par.
Keyshawn Nixon, first cornerback to make the Pro Bowl since 2022 for the Green Bay Packers, too. Jair Alexander. Yeah, seatbelt. Put it on him.
There's a sword in the thing. It's
No, it's a seatbelt.
That's a
Do
sword.
you count this? Was he like first alternate?
No shot. I mean,
I
how
don't
many
know
people
what
had
it
to say
is.
no for this? How many people?
Well, how many people in Seattle were?
I'll tell you this
got
much.
taken
I'll
out
tell
as
you this
well?
much. I was first alternate a few times, and had I gotten the nod, I would have been Jew. I would have counted it.
Of course.
I think it's different
Yeah.
though with you. Like we give you a hard time about it, but like you never got to go, right? Keyshawn, is this his third Pro Bowl? Like, does he make the Pro Bowl every year as a kick returner? It's for sure his second.
It's a second,
which is crazy that he has 2 Pro Bowls.
Yeah,
that is
That
crazy.
should show you how irrelevant the Pro Bowl nod is. And on top of that, Mason, we always love to talk into business of sport. As I get very close to the camera.
Yeah, you do.
Are NFL organizations going to start eliminating Pro Bowl bonuses from contracts, or is it now something that every player is going to put in their contract?
Like, does Shedeur Sanders have a bonus in his contract?
I'm sure he has all kinds of things. I mean, he had a bonus for jersey sales, right? Like he had a clause in there. So I'm sure his contract was laden with all kinds of bonuses and benefits for different things. So,
but I mean, this is something that people use in Hall of Fame arguments, where it's like, oh, I made the Pro Bowl this.
That is
times.
no, that like the Pro Bowl does factor into your Hall of Fame grade, but now can it with how it is now and maybe how it always has been? Why? I get all pros should.
Yeah, sure. All pros.
But Pro Bowl, nods.
Pro Bowl, not so much.
Because there's guys that make the Pro Bowl 3 years after they've had any relevance,
right?
And it's well, they weren't good those last 3 years, but they're a name and they get voted in, and people just recognize them as a Pro Bowl caliber player.
Is Keyshawn even a name? Why did Keyshawn Nixon get asked of everyone
Maybe they need
else?
a kick returner too. I mean, maybe it's he's filling 2 spots. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
It is wild.
Right,
it is
John.
wild.
We'll get back to football in the next segment, but we wanted to take a little left turn here. I know that on 9 to Noon with Kuhn, John and Brandon and Rami got into this, and this took multiple segments talking about Giannis and the Bucks and what they should do. Mark Spears from ESPN saying yesterday that he thinks Giannis may have played his last game in a Bucks uniform. I know that he and Henry Abbott from True Hoop had some of those similar thoughts. And now, people don't really know what to think in terms of what's going on with Giannis. He came out the other night after he re-injured himself and basically self-diagnosed as re-injuring his calf, and he's out 4 to 6. There's been no word from the team.
Well, he's a doctor.
Yeah,
so.
right. Dr. Giannis said.
Giannis.
Doc Rivers did say that Giannis did appropriately diagnose the injury. That,
oh, wow.
but not in terms of timeline. Just that Yeah, he hurt his calf again. Like,
so what does that look like though? Like in the NBA, can you trade him injured?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
All
can.
right. I just didn't know if there was like any rules on that.
No rules about that. You know, he would have to. They would probably have a physical. And
Oh
see the
yeah, and
extent
they'd
of
have
it.
their doctor say like, all right, yeah, it's another 3 weeks or whatever.
Right.
Like we feel good about it, and we'll get him back into the fold. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like I don't know. I honestly don't know where Bucks fan stands right now in terms of like, does it make sense to talk about trading Giannis? Does it make sense to trade Giannis? Does it make sense to never trade Giannis? Does it make sense to only trade him if you fleece another organization? Like I don't know. Like I can argue literally every single outcome. I can argue why it makes sense.
Mitch, I've changed my tone. Like I was
really?
like, don't get rid of your this player. Like build something around him. But like watching him, the injuries, like all the stuff, I'm like, it feels like it shifted. It feels like it shifted from like he's not going to lead this team to what it needs to be, right? Like he's just kind of, it's like, I just don't feel that juice anymore.
Yep.
He feels a little deflated. His energy's not there. It's like, it almost feels like he'd rather be somewhere else as well. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where just the feel of it, maybe it is time. And it's time if you can get the haul that you're looking for.
Right.
And you get some pieces that feel really good, that either are going to help you, they're going to help you year 1, 2 after Giannis and into the future. I think those things are very important when you move on from a player like Giannis. The Packers have done it better than anyone else at the quarterback position. Of you get yourself ready for that transition. Bucks don't have that right now. Like they don't have a person on that roster that can do that.
No.
So they need to, if they trade Giannis, they have to do that right away with that trade.
I love how they're not two very comparable sports, but the attitude between a departure in Green Bay versus an attitude of a departure for the Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Okay.
Where this morning, Rami is taking on everyone to say how Giannis, if he's gone, like, get ready for irrelevancy, Milwaukee Bucks fans, because why would you do that? And defending, like, you get one of these guys once every 50 years in the Bucks case, because you got to go back to Kareem since they had anyone as impactful. And it's all the assumption of the worst case scenario, irrelevancy, terrible teams year in and year out. You don't have any control of any draft capital. And then when you talk about it with a guy like Matt LaFleur, where it's like, get this guy out of here because they will be better on the other side. And there is this guy who's more creative, and this guy's a leader of men. Two different positions, two different sports, but one state with two completely opposite ends of the spectrum thoughts when it comes to departures.
But Tommy, isn't the conversation more Aaron Rodgers than Matt LaFleur?
Sure.
It's
players. And again, they have had the Packers, I think, have a history now. Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love, that it's like they do a good job at bringing in the guy that's going to replace the legend that has been there. So this Bucks team haven't developed that next person. So I do think there's more fear on when Giannis is gone. Like, what does that look like? So that trade, in my mind, has to be with somebody that's willing to give up a rising superstar to bring Giannis in to try to get the most out of him, get his market, get all those things. That's the only way you don't go into irrelevancy
Tommy,
down
what's
the
your
line.
hesitancy?
I almost disagree on. I would rather bring in a guy like this Knicks trade that I heard today, right? Where
Which is what?
It's based around Karl Anthony Towns.
Garbage.
I understand why it's garbage. Hear me out,
garbage.
okay? Because you would get the 2026 Wizards first round pick with this. The Wizards, obviously you can wherever that goes. And then it's 4 years of picks and pick swaps on top of it. Bringing in like a young guy for Giannis.
But you're talking about irrelevance now, though.
Yeah,
like you're talking about a few years of irrelevance.
Absolutely. Would love to see the Bucks do this without bringing in anyone who has any pressure of being the guy that was traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right.
Like bringing in a guy like VJ Edgecombe and then him having to be the guy you traded for Giannis is terrible. So go ahead.
What about Luka?
Well, that's different. Like they're not going to do that. I don't think Luka's got.
But wouldn't
like,
Karl Anthony Towns have that same pressure? And
correct.
Karl Anthony Towns already sucks. At least VJ
already terrible.
All right. At least VJ Edgecombe could turn into a really good player.
No, I would actually rather get Karl Anthony Towns so that everyone's already pissed, and then you can flip him again in the offseason and just wipe every player attached to Giannis coming back.
Do you think as fans like everyone's like that simple-minded that like whoever they bring in has to be like Giannis, has to be as good as Giannis right away?
You will forever be synonymous with Giannis.
Sure, but Giannis was not Giannis like early on.
Understood.
Like, I think you have to bring in somebody that is a rising star that like everybody as a fan base says this is okay, that if they like we don't have this expectation, we want to see them succeed. Just like Jordan Love with Aaron. I mean, I feel like he's doing his stuff and he's gotten better in year
Still
3.
Feels like Jordan Love is being compared to Aaron Rodgers every week we talk about this guy.
Right.
But I think also though people give him like a little more leeway. It's like they compare him, but then they're also like, oh, well, like Aaron Rodgers was amazing. Like Jordan Love's really good. Like, I think we're okay with it.
I don't think that's a 100% agreed upon take, to be fair. And
Jordan Love's okay.
That Jordan Love's good. Yeah, I think we have to go out and defend. I think we defend Jordan Love against Mitch sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, not to shoot, take a shot at Mitch. I'm just saying, there is a divide in the fan base of whether or not Jordan Love is good at football still. I think that's very strong in this fan base. There's the same divide of that if Matt LaFleur is a good football coach and if they should have kept him. I mean, we had guests coming on the very next day after Matt LaFleur was extended saying, yeah, I was in the boat to keep him. Like, where were you on Twitter? You weren't the one saying that during all of this when everyone was getting hate on Matt LaFleur.
So I want to go back to something Mason said a while ago. He said, if the heart isn't there, if the energy isn't there, if Giannis, and this, I said this to Rami too. I said, like, if Giannis is never going to demand a trade, we know that, but reading his body language, reading his nonverbal communication, I'm going to wipe all that away. Let's say Giannis is still fully in on Milwaukee and loves the Bucks and wants this organization to succeed to the nth degree. I think you can still make an argument that it makes sense to trade him right now, because I don't know, without the type of players like a young Chris Middleton and a younger Drew Holiday and a younger Brook Lopez, I don't know that without those types of players who play the game the right way and can finish in games and not just play it the right way, but also succeed at a higher level. I don't know that the Bucks can win with this Giannis. Even if Giannis is all in, I don't know if the Bucks in the next year or two can even win with this Giannis.
Yeah, and Mitch, let me ask you this then. If you're going to priority 1, 2, 3, one being biggest priority needs to go, Doc, Horst, Giannis. Giannis is probably third on that list, right?
He's maybe second. I think Doc is first. I think you can argue Giannis and Horst. But I think that, I don't know what's going to happen with Horst or with Doc. I don't know how Jimmy Haslam's going to run this team once he gets governor. Right, once he gets governor control. Maybe
they're going to have to take. They're going to have questionnaires and essays every week to make sure that they're.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh my god!
I hope so.
Doc Rivers would have failed that test so fast.
But I do wonder, like, what if Giannis just isn't the guy right now for this franchise? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's okay. He may have been a transcendent player, and he may still be in the right situation. This might not be his right situation right now, Mace.
These are so tough because there's so much emotion tied to it, because he has been so great and won a championship and reinvigorated the fan base of the Milwaukee Bucks and brought this thing back to prominence. And so all that is unbelievable. But I mean, the Packers traded an Aaron Rodgers, in this, in a similar sense. Like, I feel like you got to do some tough things. And I think Mitch's point is excellent, because it's like, if they believe they won't be able to win a championship with Giannis in the next 2 years, like, why wouldn't you move now? Right? Like, why wouldn't you? Because in a year from now, if they don't have success, like Giannis's market, like, it'll still be fine because he's a superstar, but I do think that starts dwindling down the line, where it's like, well, Giannis he didn't get the best out of everyone else. He didn't bring these young guys up. Like, what is he now? Right? Like, is he getting injured a lot? Is he kind of, over that age hump? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of questions here. So now is maybe the time just to say, all right, if we're not going to win for 2 years anyways, we might as well go young and try to build this thing back up. It
sure feels like the Bucks are trying to avoid rock bottom at all costs, with anything, at any case. And if they just got there, then they could work on getting out of there sooner than later.
They could, but with the amount that they have increased ticket sales, kind of made a mess of the business side of the franchise here in Wisconsin.
Well, good thing they got Peter Fagan still. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Well, the new guy's in Milwaukee, and so we'll see what he does. Somebody on the talk and text line, the Nikolai Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250, says that they should trade Giannis for Conchinipple. I stopped reading, but I want to say, like, it would be Conchinipple and a package from the Charlotte Hornets. I don't think Conchinnipple's even I don't think Charlotte would even consider that.
No,
because I think Charlotte has actually been playing better recently.
Very good.
They're actually about to pass the Bucks in the standings after a really bad start. And
is that just a mindset of like a local guy, like where it's like something exciting
and a potential all-star? I mean, Conchinipple is like, if he and VJ Edgecombe and Cooper Flagg are all rookie of the year level players.
Yeah.
Conchinnipple's really good. But if you get Conchinipple, one or two other players, and 3 number ones, you're talking about a package that approaches the worth of Giannis, and figuring that out.
I think I have an idea of who this guy would have hired for defensive coordinator in Green Bay.
All right,
just
relax. 414-677-1250 is also the talk line, the Nikolai talk line. Lewis is on the north side of Milwaukee. Lewis, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Fellas, anybody talking about trading Giannis for anything, I question your sanity. Okay. You know what I'm saying? When in the history of the NBA has it worked out that you trade one of the best players away and you rebuild your franchise? It's never worked. You talk about bottoming out for 2 years. Guess what? New Orleans is bottom out. They ain't nowhere near competing, right? All these teams, like, it's never worked out. All these shits, it's never worked out for when the superstar leaves. So you have the best player one of the best players in the world,
when healthy,
and has them
when healthy,
right? When healthy, okay, that goes for anybody. When healthy, you know what I'm saying? Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world only when healthy, but he's still the best shooter in the world, right? So of course health plays a part. But I'm gonna tell you this: when Haslam gets control of this franchise, right? That's not his only business, fellas. It's not the Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Right.
What he purchased the Bucks for is they bring businesses and they like finalize deals on that court, sitting courtside.
It's a business deal, yeah.
It's a business deal, and guess what? He gets to brag and boast and say, "Hey, come sit down, sit courtside, and you can watch one of the best players in the world." It's kind of hard to say, "Hey, come to my team, and we're going to watch some prospects, some college guys that I picked." You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is fascinated. The league is fascinated that Oklahoma City built this so-called team. They traded, for SGA, and that's the only time it's worked.
Let me ask you this though: whenever Giannis is done, say in 2 years, like say his contract's up, like what then, right? What do you do then? You still have to rebuild, or do you just sign him indefinitely just so that they can, people can come and watch Giannis age appropriately?
Okay, so in 2 years. I'll answer that question. Do you think in 2 years Giannis is not going to be a top 10 player? He's still a top 10 player.
Is health depending again on
that? Everybody, I told you, you're talking about healthy. Health
right, but he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been healthy in a number of years.
He's also been able to carry Bucks. He's been able to carry Bucks teams year in and year out, and he can't this year.
But listen. You just said it. He hasn't been healthy, and he's still the best.
He's amazing.
He's still the best.
Amazing.
He wasn't healthy when we won the championship. He wasn't healthy, but we won because of him.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago now, Lewis.
Okay, all right. So tell me a team Giannis can go to this year, next year, and win a championship. None. He can't. There is not one team, because if I'm the Bucks, I'm going to ask for so much in return. The only thing Giannis is changing is the weather.
Yeah, well,
so just a sec. So you're okay. So then you're okay as a fan. The Bucks never winning a championship again with Giannis as long as he's here, and Haslam's and like everybody just gets to watch Giannis like that. Like that is
no. This is what I know about basketball. As long as I have one of the top players in the world, I have a chance to win.
No, you don't. You don't anymore. You don't anymore.
That's a good.
You don't anymore. You don't, Lewis. You hold on. You hold on, Lewis. You hold on. You need a team to play basketball, and the Bucks don't even have a team right now. Like that is not Giannis's fault. All right. Okay. But the Bucks don't have a team right now. They are not in any type of title contention this year, next year, or the year after. And that's not Giannis's fault. They don't have a basketball team that's relevant in the NBA right now.
They leveraged a lot to
Do you have a better chance? Do you have a better chance of building a team with Giannis? Or do you have a better chance of building a team without Giannis? Which one do you think is going to be more competitive?
Next year, I would say
they just don't have draft capital, and like they don't have anyone that they can send off to try to build this team.
When you said win healthy,
I'm going to say without
win
Giannis.
Healthy. When healthy, I'm going to give you your scenario. When healthy, if Giannis is healthy right now and Kevin Porter is healthy right now, this team can get into the play-in tournament.
Sure.
We all agree.
Yes, we all agree.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, and if they get in the play-in tournament, that means they can become the 8th seed and play the 1 seed. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Remember when that Miami team and the Bucks team was the best in the universe, and they tanked us, right?
Yep.
The Bucks, when healthy, a healthy Giannis can beat a 1 seed, can beat a 2 seed in the playoffs now.
I don't think so. I don't think they have a chance. The Pistons or the Celtics. I don't think this. Healthy Bucks team.
You're telling me.
Shot.
No shot. So you're telling me. No shot with one of the best players in the world. So you're telling me if Giannis averages 40 points a game, all he has to do is average 40 points a game for 4 games. 4 wins.
Okay.
You're telling me he can't do that.
I am telling
you. If he can do that, then they have a chance.
40 in 4 losses. Lewis, we got to run. Thanks for the
call. Lewis, I appreciate it. I love the back and forth.
Let's keep the conversation going. Don't be a stranger. 414-677-1250. I just don't see a path for this Bucks team to be relevant with Giannis.
Well, if he averages 80 points a game, they'll be fine.
Well, I just think it is. I mean, the question is health. Yes, as Giannis healthy is a world beater, and he is unbelievable. But he has not been healthy.
Well,
he couldn't stay healthy in playoff runs. He is consistently getting less healthy, and it's because of how he plays. It's what's expected of him with how he plays because he doesn't have the support.
Right, exactly. And what the Bucks need from him. That's exactly
so he's just getting used up.
You put him on,
and it's tough.
It sucks. It sucks.
It does.
We have Giannis in Milwaukee, and he just turned 31.
Just can't get the support that and run a. It's just tough. He just gets beat up, and he just doesn't have the support.
The support was here in 19 and 20, and they should have won, right? Yep. They won in 21. That's great. They should have won in 19. They should have won in 20, and they didn't. And we got 1 championship, and that's great. But it's 5 years later, and this team is not the team that we need, that the Bucks need to be relevant. 414-677-1250. We know, I see we got a couple more phone calls coming in, so we can keep this going. We'll get back into some NFL talk as well. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby. What up, Mace?
What's up?
Mace, you gonna be
Let's
around?
go. Getting fired up on this Tuesday.
You gonna be around this weekend?
I'm gonna be there on Sunday for the Milwaukee Card Show.
Nice.
Signing some autographs. So come on out. Come and hang out. We'll be there for 2 hours doing our thing. And probably just an hour out with the public and then doing some stuff behind the scenes. And then I'll be in studio on Monday, February 2nd.
Okay.
I can't believe it's already almost February.
I know.
This is crazy right now.
The Wisconsin Card Show is January 30th through February 1st. And that's let's see, where's that? Yeah, I have like the poster here, but it's at the Baird Center. Yeah, in the Grand Ballroom. Have you Mason, you ever been to the Baird Center before?
I have been to the Baird Center.
Oh, did you get inducted into the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame there?
I think that's something fun happened there.
Yeah, no big deal.
It was good.
Yeah, it's all good. 414-677.
That place is cool.
It is. It's a great. It's a great.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's great. I like. It was the Midwest Airlines Center, and then it was Wisconsin Center, and then they put some real money into it, and it's now really a crown jewel of downtown Milwaukee. For those of you traveling from around the state, when you have an event at the Baird Center, it is a very, very cool place. 414-677-1250. We've got a couple people on the line who I guess probably want to tell us we're idiots. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Let's go to Zach on the north side of Milwaukee. Zach, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, you tell
what's
us.
Up, Zach?
You tell us, Zach.
I hate to be gloom and doom, bearer of bad news, but the Bucks are just screwed. So,
man, you're not wrong.
Over the last 5 years, there's been a low-key undercover arms race of crazy athletic talent. Like, just all these teams have just been loading up. I'm looking at the standings right now. You got so many teams with crazy athletic talent. Detroit, OKC, San Antonio, Denver. The list goes on and on. Even some of the teams that aren't that great, like Charlotte, Memphis, Portland. All these teams just have so much crazy athletic talent. Horst has done none of that. Literally none of that. We don't have any rookies. We don't have any young talent that we can get excited about. We have nothing. The one guy he got, what's his name? A.J. Johnson?
Yep.
He trades him just to dump Middleton's contract. Horst has done a terrible job. He nuked us with Dame. He just finished us off with Dame. We have nothing. We are screwed.
I think, Zach, you bring up a good point, too, of like the 5-year window, right? So just some of the, just looking back and look, if you go back to the last 5 years, 5 years ago, the standings in the Eastern Conference, the bottom three teams, Pistons, Magic, Cavs, like all of them in much better situations
now at the top
than the Bucks right now. If you go to the Western Conference, you have Rockets, Thunder, Timberwolves. Like the NBA switches around so much. I don't know why everyone's like, we are screwed as Bucks if something like this were to catastrophically happen. Like they're already screwed.
Let me ask you a quick question. What roster would you rather have right now? Charlotte or the Milwaukee Bucks?
Is Giannis pissed off?
So bad.
Yeah. Like I think you're right, Zach. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And Charlotte's
frustrated.
The team
You can
on the come
tell.
up. Zach, thanks for the call. Yep. Charlotte's that team that people are talking about right now, that they're starting to play really well with Ball and Bridges and Knipple and some other young players, young athletes, that's for sure. Ram's on the north side of Milwaukee. Ram, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I know Mason working afternoon sometime too. That's all good.
That's right.
I was going to say this. Dude, I'm a hooper, which some of y'all know. I don't know if Mason knew, but played a little bit of college. But I think the difference between basketball and football is that you gotta get it right. Like you gotta pick the best player that comes along, and I don't think John Horst has been doing that. And then when you look at some of the players that he has let go that's still playing, Dante DiVincenzo, we had Dante and Grayson Allen. That backcourt is better than the backcourt we got right now. I mean, we got to be real about this. And, we had P.J. Tucker. And I think when Drew Holiday was released, I think that's when Giannis kind of went, I don't know, like a depression or something like that.
Sideways.
Because I say this, just like what Mason used with the Packers, and you and Rodgers are like the oldest players on the team. I think sometimes, and it's not a knock against the young guys, but I think you like somebody that got familiarity and that knows some stuff, that know what to do. And I think right now the Bucs is in trouble is because it's just not their, it's not the age thing so much, but it's like what you said the last thing. It's about this talent thing. When I'm looking at some of these other teams, I just think it's hard for them to compete. And for Doc, for last time I say, Doc Rivers, I don't know if y'all know, he was the top player in the nation coming out of high school, just like his son was. So he knows what he's doing, but he's working with these guys. But you can't get blood out of turnip, guys. And I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know what moves. I think if you can get somebody to come here, maybe a pack or something to go with Giannis, but not far as competing for a title, I don't know about that one.
I hear you, Ram. I totally agree with you. I think that he hit it right on the head with why they had to move on from kind of all of us as veterans, like not leaving one person behind or whatever, because if you just don't have that chemistry and that connection as well, right? It's not just about what you go out and do on the court day in and day out. Like you have to be in relationship. You have to have like the chemistry with your teammates, right? And Giannis seems like on an island right now. Whenever he had Drew Holiday, whenever he had Middleton, whenever he, all those guys, like those were his guys.
But Mason,
and now he's just on an island, and it's like now you're just trying to put pieces around him and players around him instead of it being guys that are like will make him better as well, right?
And I again, to make this even more clear, I don't think all the young wide receivers that were brought in as replacements with the Green Bay Packers were bad, but this seems very similar to how Aaron Rodgers viewed the roster his last couple of years. And part of it is that his friends were leaving.
Yeah.
These are all the guys I came up with. These were my guys. We were on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Like Aaron should have been interviewing in there as well and asking these guys, like, so he knows their personality and like what these types of guys are, right? Yep. Like, because there's so much talent out in this world. And there are guys that are less talented that have long careers or do well because they just get it and they mesh with other players and they can adapt and morph and be a great teammate. Like that stuff is important. Like regardless of how, like if anyone thinks like talented people are going to be there, Giannis is the most talented player on that team. Does he have a support group where it's like these guys get him? They're going to call him out and lift him up all at the same time. Those things are super important.
Tyson in Zillow, Washington says, let's be honest. Also, he plays year round. He needs to choose Euroball or NBA at his age. Doing both is too much.
And what if he just went to Greece and just chose to play in the Euro?
I think that would, you know what? Bucks fans would love that. They would love that to see him go. If he's not going to play for the Bucks, as long as he doesn't play for another NBA team, just like, go ahead.
His heart.
Yeah,
follow your heart.
Right. Okay. He wants to go back to Greece, like be over there.
You could understand that.
920 has maybe the worst take I've ever heard. And my head exploded. I don't even know how to respond to it. Would you all trade Jordan Love to rebuild the Packers? Because that's how silly you all sound talking about trading Giannis. Jordan Love is in the same boat. He has no team around him. Might as well trade him. Eye roll. What earth do you live in, 920? What?
Not even.
I mean, we are all. This is the comment. If we had the soundbite from Billy Madison, like we are all now dumber for having heard that. None of that is a coherent thought.
It is a reach.
You receive 0 points.
That's just naming the top player on the Packers and the top player on the Bucks and saying they're exactly the same because they.
Right. You could have made this argument about Aaron Rodgers in 21
or in 20,
it is a similar,
and in 20.
And Giannis isn't that old, but it is like they got rid of all of their his guys. Like all his guys. Yeah. Like so, it is unique. Yeah. In that situation, it's definitely more of an Aaron Rodgers. And what did the Packers do? They traded Aaron Rodgers. Like. Yes. They got rid of all the old guys and they built something up together. And so they're at this cusp now where it's like, you got rid of Drew Holiday, Middleton's gone. Like if you're making all those moves, you've basically made the moves to get rid of Giannis, right? Because Now he is just the lone guy standing up there on this pedestal above all else, and all these young guys just trying to figure out how to play with him. And that doesn't work all the time.
And the longer the Bucks hold on to him, the less value he has, and the more we're going to be just sitting here talking about it. Because, Q says they traded Rodgers like 2 to 3 years too late, in my opinion. Are we going to be doing the Mason Crosby show in 2029 as the Bucks trade 34-year-old Giannis for one player and a second-round pick? And we're all saying they waited too long.
And I love you, Q, but I do disagree with that. I mean, Rodgers won 2 MVPs in 20 and 21.
Right.
So,
Well, just from an optimizing value point of view, I think is what he's going from. I put up Darren's. Oh, wow. What a shot there of Mitch.
You're welcome.
The cameras are all over the place. I'm so sorry, YouTube viewers this week. But anyway, Darren put it up there. And another thing where so far 1 playoff win, 3 seasons, 3 7 seeds. He's talking about the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're getting phone calls where it's like, if they just make the play-in with the Bucks, like all they got to do is just squeak in. Where if we say the same thing about the Packers and like anyone's got a chance there, it's unserious franchise. Like make it make sense.
I did understand the point that he made of who your ownership group is, right? Like the Haslam situation does complicate things,
right?
Because if you have Giannis there, is that better for Haslam than if you're trying to actually build a team to win and be successful?
Totally is. Totally
it's so
makes
much
sense.
better with Giannis, right? Like so in that vein, I understand that. But if it's like you're building something and you're trying to build a team to be successful and go win championships, I do think that like this is, you either have to bring back Drew Holiday, you got to bring somebody that can kind of reciprocate with Giannis and not just have him be the sole person leading this whole thing, or you have to trade him and rebuild this.
And I want to ask Mitch, this last thing I have.
Okay.
Has Giannis hurt his marketability in Milwaukee as a business owner if you are the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks the last season in Milwaukee? Are people now viewing him differently, and his marketability as a person and the attachment to Milwaukee, has that not gone down in the last year?
So I'm gonna split this into 2 ways. Marketability in terms of sponsorships, business owners, the millionaires, he has not hurt it at all.
Okay.
He's still Giannis. He's still a member of the club. All the members who are members of that club get to pat themselves on their back for being so special and amazing that they are part of that club. To the common fan, to the common man, absolutely he has heard it. The question is, does that matter enough? Like, do the Bucks care enough that like Tommy from Cudahy or Mitch from Whitefish Bay, which like sounds like I'm fancy and I'm really not that fancy, it doesn't matter to the common fan, doesn't matter to the Bucks that the common fan isn't into Giannis the way we were 3-4 years ago. Because the businesses in Milwaukee still are. The business community still is. The millionaires still are. 912 writes in, Giannis has the most trade value he's going to have right now. His health makes his value going forward a big issue. Also, his playing style will cause his effectiveness to reduce every year moving forward. He does not have the skill set of Kevin Durant to extend his career. And I think that's a big part of what we're talking about. Like, he keeps getting hurt. He only plays 100%, and that's amazing. And we love Giannis. And when he was 26 and 27, that was phenomenal. But as he gets to be 30 and 31, it's not like he's going to get healthier. But
he also had other guys like where they could draw the attention.
Yes.
And he wasn't just getting beat down by carrying all the weight of the team.
Yeah, Bobby in New Berlin says, I don't know, guys. I'm a Giannis guy, but this year feels a lot like a Herb Cole year. We may need to blow this up. Also, why is no one calling out Miles Turner for not getting it done this year?
He sucks already. Right. We've established.
But we've talked about it. We've talked about Miles Turner quite a bit, that he's not living up to his contract, not living up to expectations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. 414-677-1250. Keep those messages coming in. But when we come back, we're going to get inside Mason's head. Hopefully no more trees are falling on the property. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz, Mitch Ellis with you as well. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, great Tuesday. I know it got a little heated there, but I love the back and forth. I love all the different opinions. That's what makes great players great, right? Is that there's always just a little question of like, when is it time, right? And Giannis will always be a great player, regardless if he stays or goes or whatever. So we in Milwaukee are lucky to have him as Milwaukee Bucks player as long as they have, even if something does happen. So we will be here for you regardless of what happens. The trade deadline is February 5th, correct?
Yep.
So we're about a week out to kind of figure out what is going to happen here, if they are going to make a move in this trade cycle. But fellas, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for everyone listening. Darren LeClaire on the YouTube channel said, MC was my middle child's favorite Packer.
Obviously.
She was born in 07. I was drafted from Colorado that same year.
Yeah, there you go. That's
well.
awesome.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Nice. Real quick, if I may, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Little Rumble, Nora Nellis's 13th birthday today.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, we now have 2 teenagers in the house.
In her Odell year.
That's right. Odell. That's what she said when she woke up this morning. She's like, "I'm Odell, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Odell."
She stretched like this.
Yeah, caught her waffle for breakfast.
Oh, nice.
With Nutella on top. So shout out to Little Rumble. We love you. Happy birthday. We now have 2 teenagers in the house. Wish us all luck.
Oh, you're old.
I'm getting close.
Yeah.
May 22nd, I'll have 2 teenagers.
There you go.
As well.
Yeah, you'll know what it's all about. So.
Scary times.
Yeah, it's fun, that's for sure. Bucks at Sixers tonight. Mason, I don't know if you saw the spread on this game. The Milwaukee Bucks, obviously,
9.5?
10.5. Yeah,
10.5.
Yeah, that's a big number in the NBA.
Nice.
I
got another
10,
YouTube channel.
10, I guess.
10, yeah. Ryan Sager 4172. Hey Crosby, I named my puppy after you when I was 8.
I bet that's a common puppy name. Crosby's a good puppy.
That's a cool name. Yeah, that's a cool puppy name.
Crosby.
What's up, Cros?
Yeah. Would it be weird if you had a puppy named Crosby?
Would that be weird?
I don't know.
Crosby.
I feel like Tommy's
first
in charge
of all,
Tommy has a stuffed animal.
I don't want to alienate these people, but like dogs are my children. People like if Mason Crosby did that, you would be a dog or your person. Like is your child person, which I know you're not.
I'm not. Yeah. I do have children. I have real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Human children.
You know, so if you were like, this is Mason, this is MJ, this little
Mason.
Yeah.
Mason Jr. Oh, man. MJ would have been a great.
CJ Crosby Jr. Yeah.
What if I had a dog named MJ Mason Jr. and then I didn't have like Nolan? I named Nolan.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Right. Sorry. My dog is
My
Mason
dog
Jr.
is Mason
You're just
Jr.
Nolan.
Man, Jim and Karen would not approve.
They would have disowned me.
They would have flown and had to have a sit down with you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They just wouldn't have accepted it. They would have been like, no, we're calling him. Yeah, we're calling your son Mason Jr. Get out of here.
That is fantastic. Love it. Well, another wonderful edition of the Mason Crosby Show right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Of course, the Mason Crosby Show, as always, brought to you by our best friends at Verizon. Brought to you by, see what I did there? Oh, V, is that a V? You making a V for Verizon? Oh, nice. Nailed it. The official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to Potawatomi and the Sportsbook there as well. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
See ya.
I was